Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's Christina from Our Wood Home. At the time of this recording, it is Canadian Thanksgiving weekend. We celebrate that here in Canada in October instead of November like our American neighbors. This video is mainly for my followers who are not in Canada to give you a little bit of history about our Thanksgiving celebration here. I'm going to be reading from an article, which I will link in its entirety in the description of this video. So if you'd like to reference that later, you are more than welcome to do so. The article is called The History of Thanksgiving in Canada, and it's from canadashistory.ca. Thanksgiving weekend. For many, this long weekend really kicks off the autumn season. People across the country will spend it raking leaves, harvesting, shutting down the family cabin, and hopefully eating a delicious meal surrounded by friends and family. But where did this tradition come from? In 1621, the Pilgrims at Plymouth Plantation, Massachusetts, held what is thought to be the first Thanksgiving in North America, giving thanks for the end to a drought and a bountiful harvest. Some records say the first official Thanksgiving likely predates this event by around 14 years. Believe it or not, Thanksgiving in Canada, or at least the land that would become Canada, has its own history separate from our American counterparts. Traditions of giving thanks long predate the arrival of European settlers in North America. First Nations across Turtle Island have traditions of Thanksgiving for surviving winter and for receiving crops and game as a reward for their hard work. These traditions may include feasting, prayer, dance, and other ceremonies depending on the people giving thanks. When it comes to European Thanksgiving in Canada, we have a few tales to tell. As the story goes, in 1571, English explorer Martin Frobisher and his crew gave thanks and communion was observed, either on land at Frobisher Bay in present-day Nunavut or on board a ship anchored there. The explorers dined on salt beef, biscuits, and mushy peas, and gave thanks through communion for their safe arrival in the newfound land. This is now accepted as the first Canadian Thanksgiving, 43 years before the first American Thanksgiving. 48 years later, on November 14, 1606, inhabitants of New France under Samuel de Champlain held huge feasts of Thanksgiving between local Mi'kmaq and the French. Though not known at the time by settlers, cranberries, rich in vitamin C, are credited with helping avoid scurvy. The neighboring Mi'kmaq likely introduced the French to cranberries, or as they called them, petit pomme rouge, or little red apples. Champlain's feasts were more than an annual affair. To prevent the scurvy epidemic that had decimated the settlement at Île St. Croix in past winters, the Order of Good Cheer was founded, offering festive meals every few weeks. Medical treatises recommended better nutrition, more food, and entertainment to combat scurvy. However, despite the history of uniquely Canadian Thanksgivings, our modern concepts of Thanksgiving were influenced by our American neighbors. Foods that are associated with a traditional Thanksgiving, such as North American turkey, squash, and pumpkins, were introduced to the citizens of Halifax in the 1750s by the United Empire Loyalists, who continued to spread this traditional fare to other parts of the country. Today, Canadian Thanksgiving is held on the second Monday of October every year, or at least it has been since Canadian Parliament declared it so, on January 31st, 1957. Before this, Thanksgiving in Canada had been held sporadically, often coinciding with other major events and anniversaries. In 1879, Thanksgiving was officially declared a national holiday to be held on November 6. The most recent date change to the second Monday in October was largely a result of the First and Second World Wars, which we officially remember each year on November 11th, known as Remembrance Day. This was so that the two holidays would not fall on the same weekend. As Thanksgiving in Canada has historically been celebrated on several different dates, It's fitting that even though it's observed on Monday, families are equally likely to celebrate on Saturday or Sunday. Parliament officially declares Thanksgiving as a day of general thanksgiving to the Almighty God for the bountiful harvest with which Canada has been blessed. While this mandate for Thanksgiving may not be observed by all Canadians in its entirety, the idea of being thankful, of spending time with family and friends, and sharing a delicious meal still remain. Thank you for watching this video. If you are in Canada, I wish you a happy Thanksgiving weekend, and if you're not in Canada, I hope that you just have a great weekend in general. Please take a look around at the other videos on my channel, and if you like what you see, I hope that you consider subscribing. Have a great rest of your day.